Welcome back everyone to Welstopia, and today we are going to begin by looking at some adjustments that I made over to here. What happened is that when I brought the hopper system down to here, I placed the bottom there, which turns out to have been 133 blocks from the place where I was standing, and predictably the mobs started to despawn inside there. So I added a few more hoppers. I didn't think I needed to do that on screen. And I brought it down to about 126 blocks to bring that down within range. So what I want to see is how good my drops are from an overnight run to see if everything is fine. So let's head down there. And if I got nothing in there, then yeah. But let's see. I think that's a decent haul for overnight. Oh. Well, that's a little bit tougher to tell since I didn't clear out that one. Alright, that's good. I know that would have been for the iron farm. Yeah, that went pretty good. Alright, now, there's this matter of food. As you can see, I have 4 salmon left, and haven't been doing much fishing lately, so I was wondering getting a new food source. So I look in here. I think it's time to start going into pumpkin pie. There isn't much else I can do with pumpkins, so therefore the plan here is, and of course I've got sugar coming out all over the place. So got some sugar there. Actually, when I go back into there, I want to... Oh. I'm going to just make it 63. Actually, no, sugar doesn't have to be white. Okay, I'm confusing the recipe for sugar with the recipe for paper. Ha 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 ha. That's not good. Right, and egg. So I've got plenty of all of the ingredients needed for pumpkin pies, so I might as well let that be my my main food source from now on. So that's what I'll be doing. Good. Alright, good. Now I've got some pumpkin pies and plenty to eat on that matter. So that's the first thing I wanted to take care of. The second matter I had has to do with the skeleton farm you saw me make earlier. Now, it's obviously not a matter of skeleton bones. I've been getting enough of those recently, but since it's also an XP farm, I was wondering about feeding the wolves. Because I had a lot of trouble with concerning meat. I haven't been spending much time doing it, either trying to get meat from cattle or trying to get meat from pigs or anything like that, and I just don't feel like dealing with that. And what I hadn't realized is that zombie flesh is perfectly fine for wolves. So therefore, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this over and yeah, transfer it over to the Skelly farm area, and that's going to be my food that I have for dogs, because apparently they don't have trouble with the food poisoning or anything like that. So that's item number 2. Now, item number 3 I want to worry about is setting up my next area where we'll be going. And along with that, I'm also thinking of building an above ground road finally. I know right now I have this subway, which in theory is supposed to be taking me back and forth, but I haven't been using it as much lately, partly because of flight now being readily available, and partly because of the disconcerting nature of going through here. This particular glitch makes it annoying every time I go through here. And of course, remembering a minecart all the time, because I came over this way last time by flight, and so therefore, running back just isn't as palatable to me at the moment because I don't have the minecart here, so I have to go remember to get a minecart and all that fun stuff, and what little time I save by taking the cart is sort of lost in there, so I just might as well just run like I'm doing here. You'll see there's my minecart. So I haven't been using it as consistently. So I was thinking it's time to build a road system going through here finally. And once I build a road system, then I am also going to be building my next village in there, and I'm going to be working on that next village as I work on, of course, the lighthouse, which is my main thing. And I really should see about filling this crazy thing in, because that is just a nuisance to go through. So that's going to be part of the road project, because the road's going to be going through here, shoring up the area of here, coming down along here. And one of the problems is, of course, I've got all this hilly terrain I need to go through, which is probably why I haven't bothered with the road in the first place. And come down here, and the idea then is to meet up and come to an area where I can do some farming. Now, the candidate I have at the moment, I think is right down here. This little peninsula I've got here right now, all that's here is a bunch of birch. I think this is the peninsula I was looking for. Yeah, this is it. And I was thinking of making a little farming community here to help decorate this thing, because you're going to definitely go by this peninsula if you are coming down via the river. Now the road itself, though, I'll probably have it cut through the peninsula, so there'll be a bit of a bypass here. The road will continue along here and go straight towards this way, because now we're getting the I guess that's the iron farm over there, because there's the iron farm and there's the mob farm over there. And we could put a farming village over here. And if I meant I think some Endermen were playing some mischief with me. That's what I think. Actually, I've got plenty of that stuff over here. So let's do some filling in on that and let that take on. Okay, I've got the laces all over here, which looks like Endermen are treating this whole thing like a cheese factory. But like the idea is to build a road going through here. The road will branch off here, where we will have our little farming community. Alright. Actually, I might just be taking down the hill off it, because this is going to be Farmingdale, will be the name of the little place. And I'm going to have little micro farm areas. In other words, maybe small shelters with small gardens in it. Nah, I was thinking of that, but if that's the case, then I'll need places on both sides of the river, because I certainly won't be able to have a farm for everything. The idea is to have one small farm for every single item in there, and as part of that, I got a little farmer starter kit that had materials you needed for every single one of the crop farms of the game. Probably not exactly something intended for someone who is well established in here, but I got it mainly for one purpose, and it wasn't just for this project, but it was for one of the subparts of it. And that is because I actually don't have any stuff for making chorus flowers at the moment, so therefore the idea is so I could start a chorus plant farm in there, and I thought that maybe we'll just do a little bit of everything as we're doing it. But we'll make the first commodity course, fruit, of course, but I think it is time for me to take a little rest. The first matter of concern is what to make the road out of. Now, when I'm underground, I've been tending to use this particular design where I have 2 spruce with a birch in the middle, so it keeps the road from being too boring. I mean, it's easy enough to get boring enough when you're doing a road as it is. And of course, those are chosen because I've got plenty of spruce over here. And if I go down far enough, and especially when I reach the site of my new village, I have a nice amount of birch. So therefore, those are 2 types of wood that are in plenty of supply. And I thought it makes a nice contrast on it. The question is whether that'll be suitable for outdoors, because of course wooden roads aren't exactly the most durable, and if you're thinking of them taking a large... Okay, if you think of them as taking a large amount of traffic, maybe bringing goods back and forth, if we imagine it's taking stuff to the industrial area and back and to Farmingdale for all the food and all that stuff, then lore-wise, I think a wooden road wouldn't make too much sense. They're sort of traditionally used, at least today. I would think of a wooden road mainly being used for foot traffic, as a boardwalk, or something like that. So that means some sort of a stone. And what do I have in the way of stone? I've got granite here. The trouble with granite, of course, is that you can only do granite out of it. I mean, you only have blocks in it. You can't make it into shapes like stairs and stuff like that, and slabs, which are really nice. And that's one of the advantages, of course, of wood. Oh, and of course I'm using stone I guess I'll just have to cook some stone if I want. And of course stone is being used for other things, but I'm thinking maybe I could use cobble for a ditch or something like that. That could be useful. What about nether brick? Ooh, that's a thought. Alright, let's have a look at nether brick. That's what we've got. Now there's also red nether brick, but unfortunately red nether brick does not form stairs. Actually, when I was doing that before, I was trying to turn red nether brick into stairs as opposed to well, actually, the red nether brick looks a little bit too bright anyway. So maybe the duller shape would be what I want. And the idea here is... Oh, not like that. I have 2 ideas what to do with the stairs. One of them is to help when we are perhaps sometimes changing altitude. And then also I was thinking concerning the gutters, but actually I think the gutters should be a contrasting color, so therefore I don't want the gutters to be nether brick. Probably will have to make that out of stone brick, or maybe cobble like I was thinking of earlier. After thinking about it, I think that cobble would be the best bet. Now it doesn't go with it great, but what it does do is that it makes it look rougher, and that's the idea there. We've got the main road where people are expected to go, and people are expected to stay off the cobble and not to go into it. So therefore, it looking well, not particularly pretty and really looking contrasting here, I think actually helps in this case as sort of a warning thing. But it doesn't take care of the center area. Now, it would have been nice to have something like, I would say diorite there or something like that. But the trouble with diorite is it doesn't come in slabs. If you want slabs, then I would have to go with, well, you can get slabs for nether brick. I've already checked that. So that won't be a problem. And I want to be able to have slabs and stairs if I'm going to be able to, let's see, if I want to be able to move about here. So therefore going like that. And that way I could do my up and downs fairly well enough. Now, that does give some challenge to the gutter whenever I do that. Then that's some other challenge I'll have to think of what to do about the gutter when it does that. I'll get to that when I do it. Maybe the gutter temporarily goes a little bit deeper, or perhaps a little bit shallower, whichever way is the case. Now, I was considering other things, but I think that's what I'll be doing, because I think sandstone was the other thing I was considering on the matter. And let me test sandstone. My thought was to use the sandstone for the gutters along the side instead of the cobble here, but it hit me that it'll make a nice center stone instead, so therefore I think that is exactly what I'm looking for. Well, maybe I'll have to double check to see if there are other sandstone designs that might work better here, or if this is the only one that has all the slabs and all that stuff. But I'll choose the exact texture I want for my sandstone, have the nether brick on the side, and I think this will make a nice road to go all the way down. I guess the road could be starting, well, where should the road start? Actually, the road probably should start right around here, and we've got this subway station right in front of it. I'll probably have to move that, because I think the road should have precedence here, since it's the road I think is going to be my long-term system of travel in the end. Good. Now I just need to get this thing filled in so there's no longer a hazard. This has been a bit of a hazard for me as long as I've been using this base, constantly falling into this little pit here. I just hadn't been coming through here enough times for me to really worry about it all that much. Now, since I know that Endermen are going to try to give me a bad time, I'm actually going to fill it in completely rather than just do a piecemeal job of it. Because if I did a piecemeal job of it, I'll just have an Enderman give me a bad day, just like these thunderstorms like giving me a bad day. That will be much safer for the moment. Of course, it's all going to change when I actually put the road through, but at least I've decreased my chance of my falling into the water when I am trying to excavate for it. Now, one more thing before I go, and that is this little thing. This is the little starter kit that is in there, everything you need for the farming thing. Now, I know most of the stuff I've already got, like I've got sand and cactus somewhere, right? Do I still have that cactus area down there? Oh, okay, I think a lot of it got removed when I did this, so I'm probably have to start a new cactus farm anyway, and having the sand to travel with it probably won't be a bad idea. Alright. Dirt enough for each of the items here to make. Now I added the saplings myself, so I'm trying to collect saplings from all the types of. So I got acacia, spruce, oak. I still need some jungle, darkwood, and of course, well, I have no trouble finding some birch in there. So some netherwort with some soul sand, and of course some endstone with some chorus flowers. And the need of getting some chorus flowers and starting a chorus farm is what inspired this entire project. So I went for this little thing. Let's get this, and there was no way for me to get the chorus stuff all by itself, so I just got the entire kit there and thought, all right, let's do a build around it. I know. Well, next time, before we go into the road thing, maybe I should get back to the lighthouse. But whether I'm starting on the road next time or continuing with the lighthouse, I will be with you for the next episode of Piney Plays of Minecraft Welstopia.